and welcome to Final Fights. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who learned how to scorpion kick after watching this film. It's Tom Trezemer. I love this fight. I mean, I absolutely love this fight, and I love all of the scorpion kicks that Jet Li throws in this brawl. It's just beautiful how many of these he lands on these guys, because they've never seen anything like this in their life, have they?
This fight from Lethal Weapon 4 is so brutal.
Oh man!
I mean, it is so gnarly. I cannot state this enough. We watched this a couple times the other night with my wife, and she literally covered her eyes because she could not watch this. It was so violent. But yet this is the same woman who loves Game of Thrones and guys getting their heads crushed in bare hands. I mean, I think that's a testament to how good this fight is.
I'm going to take you back to 1998. I was 16 years old. I didn't know much about Jet Li, but I was starting to learn about Jet Li. So what happened was when Tarantino started promoting Jackie Chan, I started watching Rumble in the Bronx and those kind of martial arts films, and that was 94 or around there. And so I started getting into other martial arts films at the time, and that's how I learned about Jet Li. So when I learned that Jet Li was going to be in Lethal Weapon 4, I was just so excited. And this is nuts. I sent you that link. This movie only had a month to edit and be released in theaters. They had to rush this thing so fast because Warner Brothers was worried about losing a ton of money, so they wanted a sure thing. So this movie, I mean, this is a movie that could only be made, like, you know, Shane Black was on it. Not Shane Black, I'm sorry, Richard Donner, Mel Gibson, Danny Glover. How fast they had to move fast on this. I know I completely changed gears, but I think it's a miracle that this movie came out so quick and was edited so fast and was released.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was still like a 6th or 7th month shoot. But it still had, what you said, just a few weeks turnaround to get edited and put out there.
It's nuts.
It's absolutely amazing, not what they just did through this entire movie, but especially during the final fight scene.
So this final fight, some people do say that the ending is too quick, which maybe it is, but I don't care. It's a beautiful fight, but it's between Martin Riggs, Roger Murtaugh, and Wassing Ku, who is played by Jet Li. And what happens is it's all about the triads. He tries to get one of his brothers back, who's one of the four, horsemen? No, he's one of the four...
fathers. One of the four fathers.
And what happens is, as Jet Li's trying to get away with his brother, Murtaugh accidentally shoots his brother, and it leads to a water-soaked 2-on-1 fight in a pier that they're just getting drenched. It's wet, and it's just a very angry Jet Li against a very concerned Martin Riggs and Roger Murtaugh. They are worried about this fight.
And what's awesome with this setting, it's not just on a pier, it's below the pier. I mean, this is the best under the pier fight since Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Oh yeah. I mean, it is.
I mean, I just think the setting is awesome. Like, you have so many fights that take place out on the piers and the docks, but rarely do you ever go underneath those and how gritty and dirty they are. So it's like, I just love the setup to this fight. It's like Jet Li drags his brother down there to die, and Wassing Ku knows, at least in my mind, how I kind of interpret everything. It's like he knows he's not going anywhere. And so then Murtaugh and Riggs follow him down there. You know, they've got that little debate of whether or not they're actually going to fight him or not. But it's like they're backing the most dangerous guy they've ever faced into a corner.
Oh, man, I love it.
And it's like, it's either he goes through them or he goes in the ocean. And I love it. I love it. It's just so raw.
And prior in the house, Jet Li defeated both of them easily, took his gun apart. And then in the warehouse, he beat them up again with the forklift and all of that.
Yep.
I mean, he's basically 2-0 on these guys. And of all the fights we've covered so far, my favorite shot right before the fight happens. So they're underneath the pier. They're kind of on a pier underneath the pier. And they're walking.
I'm nodding my head.
Yeah.
So I know where you're going with this.
And they're walking towards Jet Li. But what they do is Glover and Gibson cross each other. So one starts on the, so let's see. Glover starts on the right. Gibson starts on the left. And they cross so that they flip. The other one goes on the right and left. Yep. But the camera just has this wide shot. I'm explaining this terribly. I get too excited and I can't explain these things. But it's just a nice long shot of the two crossing paths going to the either side and just Jet Li standing right in the middle. And you know they're walking into a honey badger den. You know that they're going to have to kill this guy. What I love about this fight, Tom, And I think this is why, your wife was freaking out is these guys go cheap in this fight. Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, they don't fight fair in this. They gouge eyes, they hit with pipes, they stab with rebar. They're not looking to have a fair fight here. They want to kill this guy.
I think it starts off, so I want to touch on that shot because I put that in my notes too, that is probably one of my all-time favorite build-ups to a fight.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Because, it's like they're debating whether or not they should actually do this, and they're getting ready to leave, and then Riggs is like, yeah, but I want to know how he does this. I want to know if he's really that good or if he's just getting lucky. So he's like, I want to go ask him how. And as you said, they've got that where the camera is pulling them down the pier walk to Jet Li, and then they cross. But it's like I feel like they start off trying to fight fair, and they quickly realize that this is not going to work for them.
Because it goes so bad against them. They run in there, and the scorpion kick comes first. And then they just get wiped out. And then there's the leg sweep in here. And then the first time that they cheat is with the pipe, correct? So then Mel Gibson hits...
Yeah,
you're right.
Picks up the pipe.
I do love, though, Murtaugh in this fight, Danny Glover, man. He comes in with some bombs.
This is the first final fight in the series that Murtaugh has ever been a part of.
And he throws some pretty good knuckles in here, man. He's a powerful man in this fight.
From my notes, he connects on 4 strikes.
Yeah, but the 4 punches are legit, though.
Oh, they're good.
They're not really punches, too. They're not... Okay, so they're not technical by any time. They're like club punches, almost, that he lands on him.
It's old man strength club. Like you don't want to take one of those to the chin.
So in this fight, I counted 42 major strikes in this brawl, and oh man, I dig it. I love how they come in. I love when one of my favorite shots is Riggs, who's a really good fighter that we established before in our Final Fights episode about the first Lethal Weapon, when he tries to drag Jet Li away and he grabs his foot and starts pulling him, and then he just gets kicked in the face for his troubles. I love, like, they've never fought anything like this, so they don't know what even to defend. Like,
and I think part of it too is like they've never fought together either.
Yeah.
So you can tell like their mojo is a little off, and they don't fully know how to cover each other.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
I love that at the beginning of the fight, Jet Li lands 3 quick kicks and knocks him out. Then he goes for that jumping spinning kick and they catch him.
Oh, it's so cool.
And then they just throw him.
Just toss him. And I love that. I mean, it's a good narrative.
It is, but it also makes Ku not necessarily immortal or invincible, especially against 2 guys that know what they're doing. Like, he's clearly better, but they don't, they're not on his level yet. But they can still defend themselves at least to a little extent. He
seems to be fighting with some honor, too, in this fight. But then we have, Riggs throws 3 headbutts in a row in this fight. And then I think one of my favorite parts is Jet Li had just ripped his shoulder out of his socket. So Riggs just returns with 3 headbutts, and then he knocks his shoulder back in on a pole that's holding up the pier. And it's just, dude, the gooey. Did you pay attention to the sounds in this? There are squishes in this. There's punches when he's gouging his eyes. You hear like the sound effects are squishy in this.
So I wrote a note here on my little spreadsheet thing about the sound effects. Verbatim, I said everything is top notch, from the punches to the kicks to the bodies hitting the wooden floor. The thunder cracks, the creaking of the pier, the rainwater. Like, the soundscape is so believable for this fight that it's another element to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like another character that is there, that they're stuck inside of. But it's like a lot of these 80s through 90s movies, you would always get those generic punches. Like, this is one of those first movies that I remember where you had varied sound effects for the punches. Like, they all didn't sound exactly the same.
Exactly.
But these were full and deep, and they were just wet. You could feel them.
They are just the wettest punches. And I do love the 5 chest punches that Jet Li lands on Riggs before the 3 headbutts. Yeah. Those are so, and you're right, they do sound different. It's weird. Like, they really did a good job. The Foley artists, I guess, get a lot of credit for making this sound excellent. I dig it. Oh, it makes me so happy. And then I've heard some complaints, Tom. I want to see what you think about this. People have complained that this fight ends too abruptly. But given their age and the violence already inflicted, they're not just going to take their fists and pummel his skull into oblivion. They're not going to use Riggs can't use jujitsu like he did against Joshua on this guy. They had to kill him. They really did, right? I mean, so it had to end quick. It had to end with a weapon. But it seems like people wanted to go longer. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I don't. First of all, the length. I timed this at 3 minutes and 40 seconds, 43 seconds. So it's about the same length of Lethal Weapon 1.
Mm-hmm. Which I love. That's a perfect length for a
and
fight.
so I'm not sure how. I don't know how you could drag it out. Maybe it's just because it was 2-on-3.
Yeah.
But also, like, there's no cutaways. Like, from the first movie, there were cutaways of Murtaugh holding back the police. Here, there are no cutaways of other characters. You're in that fight for the entire time.
You are.
And so for the abruptness, I guess I don't agree with it. I don't know how else, in terms of the story, how else it could have ended. I mean, they're not going to beat Jet Li straight up mano a mano. So it's like, I feel like, they were either going to have to stab him to death or crush him under one of those big concrete piers, or as Riggs happened upon a AK-47 at the bottom of the ocean.
That's still working?
Yeah.
Well, I guess AKs are known.
I think that was from the car that ran off the pier during the shootout right before that.
I mean, AKs are known for their reliability, so that's good. If you had the one gun under there. But I think, okay, so I think we're about 30-some episodes into Final Fights, and my favorite one, of course, is The Night Comes for Us, between Iko Uwais and Joe Taslim. It's just a marvel of choreography, and two of my favorite fighters on the planet, movie fighters on the planet, are in it. But I think my favorite visual, and it's so brutal, is Murtaugh has stabbed Jet Li through the back, through the chest with a piece of rebar. So he has rebar on either side of him. Jet Li knocks out Murtaugh, somehow manages to do it with rebar through his chest. Mel Gibson goes on either side of Jet Li, grabs the rebar, like from his back and his ribs, and just lifts up. And then he starts teetering it back and forth like a seesaw when he has him in the air. And you just hear these squishy noises, and then they cut to a wide shot. Not a totally wide shot, but they cut to a wide shot where he's just holding Jet Li in the air with a piece of rebar that's through his stomach.
It's shooting down the entire length of the pier, and the two guys are like silhouetted to the lightning strikes.
Oh man, it's an art. I mean, it's an artful fight, and I got to give props to Mick Rogers, who was the stunt coordinator and kind of the choreographer on it. I don't know if you know this, but Mick Rogers was Mel Gibson's stunt double from 84 to 97. So this was his first big step up into stunt coordinating and fight choreography. So this guy, he went on to work with him in Hacksaw Ridge, Braveheart. He did Bloodfather, fighting, but he did Apocalypto with him, Payback. So he's basically done all these films. But he went on to work on, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. He did Maverick, Lethal Weapon. He did all the Lethal Weapons. But it's pretty cool. Like, the guy knows what he's doing. And I think it's pretty neat that this was his big step up in the stunt coordinating after being Mel Gibson's personal stunt double from 84 to 97. But I think maybe he knows how Mel Gibson moves and he knew his body type. So then he was able to build a really cool fight scene. I mean, I'm sure Jet Li had some say. Absolutely had some say. But it's a really well choreographed battle. And Mick Rogers gets some props for that.
And I think tonally it is so dark because the rest of the movie, I mean, it has very violent moments in it. But it's like as the Lethal Weapon series progresses 1 through 4, more and more comedy is put into it. Like the first movie I feel is very dark.
Oh yeah.
The second movie has very dark themes, but it's also funny. And then it just kind of, the comedy and the goofiness gets ratcheted up. But here, it's like they completely just get rid of the comedic moments, everything to do with, any sort of cheap one-liner or little gag, and they just go to straight brutality.
That's really interesting because you brought up Game of Thrones. When you watch Game of Thrones, you expect brutality. But when you watch this fight scene, you're used to Joe Pesci talking about ducks. Or he has this weird monologue, and you're used to just comedic antics, shenanigans. Chris Rock in this, all that. Mm-hmm. But you're right, there's no one-liners in this. I I mean, there's squishy eye gouges. There's rebar stabbings. This is brutal.
I don't know if there's even any dialogue until Murtaugh goes into the water. I'm sorry, until Riggs goes into the water with Jet Li, where Murtaugh is yelling for Riggs.
Wow.
Like, I don't know. I think after Murtaugh says, "Let's go ask him," or whatever that line is when they do that cinematic amazing cross, I don't think there's another line of dialogue through that whole thing.
I'm going to make a GIF of that. I'm going to do it, and I'll add it to this final fight piece, because that's so cool. And also, I think this fight does Jet Li, it doesn't do him a disservice. Yes, he loses. However, two A-list stars who have been steamrolling people for years have to cheat 2-on-1, and I don't know if it's cheating, but no, it's not really, it's a fight to the death, so there's no cheating. Is there cheating in fights to the death?
Say they go. No, there's no cheating. I'd say they go a little dirty with it.
Yeah, there it is.
For sure.
They go dirty. They turn it into a jailhouse rock, bunkhouse brawl type thing. And the eye gouge. Like, Jet Li doesn't try to eye gouge. I was a little disappointed with his choking scene, though. That maybe they were at a rush. So there's a scene where Jet Li and Mel Gibson are squaring off, and Jet Li is just choking Mel with one arm, like one hand, just choking him. And I don't know, maybe they didn't have that much time, and maybe they needed to hold him there to get him stabbed, but I don't know. It seemed like a weird way for Riggs to lose, getting choked by one hand. Did you like that?
Well, I guess I didn't object to it because Jet Li chokes a guy out earlier in the movie with that same move.
You're right.
He reaches up and grabs the esophagus of, I guess it was the old dude, the guy that Murtaugh gave his father's watch to.
You're right.
And choked him out.
Yeah,
but it's like I don't know if I fully buy Riggs being choked out at that point, other than him just getting the shit kicked out of him for 3 minutes and just tiring.
Yeah, it's a good callback. So I definitely like that, and I like that Jet Li is taken out by two guys with eye gouges, steel pipes, and rebar. You can go home happy on that. He didn't lose
30 rounds from a machine gun.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So he still was beating up people with rebar through his chest. So you're right. And then the AK underwater. And it's just, you don't feel
I like
bad.
that. I love the sound effects too. Like, after they get underwater and they're still struggling, Gibson reaches for that machine gun. Jet Li grabs the barrel of it and tries to push off, and then they both look at each other. And for that briefest moment, Jet Li shakes his head like, no, don't do it. Like, he knows what's coming. And then it's dead silence. Then you just hear the thunder of the gun going off. It's so well done. It's really intense.
I just remember when I was 16, I think I went and watched this with my brother. We just thought this was the most epic brawl. It was just, this was the main event. I mean, this movie made a ton of money. This was a super popular film. I know critics didn't really love it that much, but it made bank. But I remember just thinking how epic this fight was. And this is a time, 98, when we had Independence Day, we had Face Off, we had Con Air, and here's Lethal Weapon 4 dropping a fight scene on us that is just jaw-dropping. I don't care about the hyperbole. I love this fight.
No, for me, it's just the brutality of it. Mm-hmm. I feel like you don't see many fights that are this raw.
That's a good word.
I don't know. You see guys, I don't know how to explain it. There is, with the added elements of the rain, the set, they almost did that helicopter type spotlight shining down through the top of the pier. So you have all those broken hard lines. They're going in and out of shadows. Yeah, I mean, with every landing of a hit or a punch or a kick or whatever they're doing, more blood is being drawn. I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. Just the way that how much attention to detail is surreal.
What's your favorite moment?
Man, I don't know. I love that cross.
There. So on the Skype call right now, I can see Tom, and he just you got conflicted there. That's funny. I don't think I've ever seen you do that.
I don't know, man. I love every moment of this fight. I truly don't know if I can pick out a favorite part to it. Maybe when Riggs finally gets into the fight. I actually noted in here, it takes 1 minute and 17 seconds for him to land his first punch.
He has a nice four strike combo in here too, towards the end.
I think it's when he finally gets into the fight where you can feel the table start to turn for those guys.
I love that. I think for me it's the eye gouge, just because of the squishy sound effect, and the heroes went there. You never see a hero's eye gouge. When do you see hero's eye gouge?
Yeah, that's pretty mean.
Right, I
And
love
he's
it.
not above that either. In all the
No.
other movies, he's like poking guys in the eyes, messing with
Yeah,
them.
you're right. Yeah, he goes after eyes in these films. But I was like, man, Riggs just he's eye gouge. When you never see heroes eye gouge. So I really love that. The cross in the beginning and the eye gouge are my favorite. I love that. So we've talked about, all right, so let's see. All right, would you think 1987 Riggs could have taken Jet Li in 1998 Jet Li versus 87 Riggs?
No, I don't think he could take him.
I know
I think
I
he
know his name's
would.
oh sorry I know his name's Wasing Ku, but I just keep saying Jet Li because it's Jet Li to me.
I think he would do a better chance. He would have a better chance against him one on one, but I don't think he could do it by himself.
Yeah.
I think a younger Murtaugh and a younger Riggs probably could dispatch Lee much faster than what they did. Then again, at this point, I think Riggs is pushing 50 and Murtaugh's in his 60s at that point.
What happens if it's Mr. Joshua and Wasing Ku versus Martin Riggs, Roger Murtaugh, and Brian O'Connor? I'm bringing Brian back from our Lethal Weapon discussion because we said what happens in a jiu-jitsu match between Riggs and Brian O'Connor? Who wins between Riggs, Murtaugh, and O'Connor versus Joshua and Wasing Ku?
I think O'Connor would tip the scale for him.
Throwing some Superman punches in there?
Yeah, he's too efficient. He's too good.
Oh man, I want to see that fight now. Make it happen. I don't know, WEDA or ILM. Get it going. But no, man, this was a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
All right, cool. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Tom Tresemer, this is Final Fights. We'll see you next week.